Hello, this is Dr. Carolyn Brockman, and I'd like to show you all how to make the metric system easier. I'm going to come up with a mnemonic device. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Some cool history behind all of this metric system stuff. If you guys are ever interested, you can email me. But these all stand for something. This K stands for kilo, hecto, deca, and this is going to be kind of a space. It's called a base, and I usually go kind of a different way that I say it for myself because it makes me remember it easier. But email me for that if you need it. Milli, and we just assume that these two right here, I went off to the side over here because this is another measurement that's not included in the mnemonic. But as you work, you'll start seeing why. These guys right here do not have, they have a name for them, but we never use them, and they're just something not to mess with. But they are spaces, so just put spaces there. So this is the hardest part, is writing down King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. That's the hardest part. And now all you do is just take some numbers and move some decimals around. And this whole thing helps you on where to move your decimal. So let's do 4.8 grams equals how many milligrams? First step, write down your number again. Second step, determine where your decimal is. Third step, go up to where you're going grams to milligrams. So the bases, by the way, grams, you got liters, meters, grams. Those are all bases. So you would have a kilogram, a gram is a base. Millimeter, the meter's the base, okay? So we're going from grams to milligrams. The one that's only one letter is usually the base. If you're visual, need just a little bit of kick of a help. So we go from grams to milligrams. So we start at grams, put a little dot there, and we go to milligrams, which is over here. 1, 2, 3. And notice we stopped on the word. And then we're going to stop down here on the spaces. 1, 2, 3. And drop our decimal. Notice up here we're stopping on the words. Down here we're stopping in the spaces. So that's your answer. It's that simple. It's so easy it's hard. So I'm going to try another one for you. Say if we have 0.3 and we have that as milligrams, and we want to know that how many grams that is. Let me get an eraser. I'm going to erase my old stuff. Something you'll want to do is get rid of your old arrow, unless you really like to make a mess, but some of you guys will be fine with it. Some of you guys are like me and just like to keep it clean. You, again, write down your number, determine where your decimal is, and then you say, I'm going from milligrams to grams. So you go up here to milligrams, and you're going to grams over here. So you go milligrams to grams. And I say right-click copy, and you're going to go down here, just like in your brain, and right-click paste. And fill in some zeros. Now, your answer, you'll be tempted to write it like this because you are correct. But in the medical field, that decimal can easily get lost. So we always put that 0, and your teacher, if you're next to them, is probably nodding their head, yes, 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 because I've seen people actually miss this one because they forgot the 0. Because the 0 and that space kind of indicates, hey, look for something, and you don't miss that decimal, which is extremely important. If you miss that decimal, man, it's pretty serious in the medical field if you miss that decimal. So always put that 0 up front, get in the habit of it from now on. Okay, next I would like to do a whole number. Let's go 58 kilograms equals how many grams? And this is just a coincidence that I'm using grams all the time. We can do one here in a minute that's not grams. Get my eraser out. Probably should not make you watch this, kind of pause the video, but I made this video a little easier by just going through it. Okay, showing you what you would do too. That's probably a good idea. So let's take our number And then you determine where your decimal is. Well, if there's no decimal, you put it right here on the end. And a lot of times, to help you think about it, think of it like money, $58. You know, 5800, $58, that's where your decimal is. So any whole number, your decimal is at the end. That's the hardest part of this whole thing, is figuring out where that decimal is. Okay, kilograms to grams. So we start at kilograms and we go 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Move your decimal over, and 58,000. Okay, and I'm going to make one now, and I'll erase it before I get started in it, that's a little bit more, one you don't actually use, but you may. You never know, especially if you're a pharmacy. Pharmacy uses crazy stuff. Alright, so let's just think of hectoliter. I'm going to make that 15 hectoliters equals how many deciliters? And I'm going to write it out because I get them mixed up. Your instructor will tell you the difference between them. Sometimes you'll have decaliters like that, deciliters like that, something like, but I would clarify when you're studying somewhere which one is which. We'll just ignore that, guys. Well, okay. Make my pen a little bigger. Eraser a little bigger. Okay, so we have 15. Put our decimal at the end. We're going from hectoliters to deciliters. Now notice this is ends in an I. A lot of people get these two guys mixed up. Here's deca and deci. And how you remember which one goes where is this one ends in I, ends in I, ends in I. So this one with I goes with the I, guys. Okay. So I'm going to go from hectoliter, which is right here, and I'm going to go to deciliter, which is right here. 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And we have 15,000. That's simple. That's a mark that shouldn't be there, but that's 15,000. I could make it a comma, but I actually tapped it. So if you have any questions about the metric, you can ask your instructor, or you can email me at this email. Anytime. I'd be glad, more than happy to answer any questions you have. I truly enjoy this, and I would love to help you with it. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I see this micro up here, and let's imagine that we have 150 micrograms is equal how many milligrams? And you'll usually go from micrograms to milligrams and back and forth. You usually don't go, way down the line, but if you did, it would still be the same rule. Just the numbers look different. So we have 150. I determine where my decimal is. Then I go up to the top, or micro, and I go to milligrams. So 1, count that space, 2, 3. Just like the rest, it'll just look different, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3. That's where our new decimal goes. 0.150, and put your 0 up front. Now, I like to leave, you would not be wrong to leave it on, but your instructor will probably nod and say, get rid of it, because you do not want your doctors to have to read a complicated decimal. Just give them something as the least complicated. Just drop those zeros off the end. So again, email me if you need anything.